Playboy, you made that beat.
We back at it again. It's your boy E. Tally, and I'm with
Richard DeLeon
and Mike Daniel Jr. from Alamo
All right,
City
we have
All-Star Sportsplex.
Thank you, Michael. And we have a special guest with us all the way from Marshall High School, the Rams. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Coach.
Coach Bobby Jaklich.
Head of the boys basketball team, varsity, that is. Thank you, Coach, for spending this time with us, taking it out of your fun football Sunday. Again, sorry about the what happened on Friday. I hope I hope it's the 6-week deal. He comes back before the playoff starts. That's what I'm hoping. Does it look like that? He's a Packers fan, by the way.
They said 3 to 6. So hopefully, can maintain until then.
If y'all don't know what we're talking about, Love had a
MCL sprain.
MCL sprain, knee, right? Knee or ankle?
That's knee.
Yeah. Knee, okay.
Yeah.
So he's out for a while. And again, who's y'all backup real quick, Coach?
Just newly signed Malik Willis. So
it'll be a fun 6 weeks for you here. 3 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Wait, Coach, again, thank you, man. I don't mean to rub your nose in that one. It's just, again, I'm not a fanatic, but I am a fan of the football team, of the Philadelphia Eagles. And again, that was a tough win because at the end of the game, y'all had a chance to win that game also. So just like the Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs game. So again, I think football started off in a blast. But here, let's go ahead and run these. Let's talk to you about this basketball stuff. So I'm gonna take the first question, and just wanted to we talked already about this, but I kind of want to get on wax about it as far as what's your thoughts about you guys going from District 28 now to District 27 and being reunited with your old Northside ISD schools?
Yeah, we're excited. It's always a challenge, both districts, being in Northeast, the last 2 years, highly competitive, coming back with Northside. Same thing. Like there's no off dates. It's like the old current, I guess now, ACC of college basketball. Like you can't rest any night. It's top to bottom, 1 through 9, 1 through 10. Like anybody can beat anybody on a given night, and the level of play is just across the board is outstanding. I think it's one of the top districts, not just in the city but in the area. If not the state. You got some heavy hitters in Harlan and Brennan. Coming up and. After that, everybody's in the next tier and everybody has a chance. And I think it speaks to the volume of the guys that we have coaching in the districts. And I think the amount of work that they put in, to get these kids ready, because if you're not ready, it's going to show. And I think everybody does a great job of getting themselves ready. So it is pretty exciting. These kids grew up with each other. A lot of them went to the same middle schools. And so I think having kind of some of those built-in rivalries is exciting for them. Now they're playing against guys that they grew up playing with, they play with in the summer, and now, they get to go against each other in district.
All right. Well, I was fortunate enough and honored to play for your father when I was at Holmes High School at the late 80s, early 90s. So I kind of know what his philosophies were and all that. Can you share some insight into your coaching philosophy, the specific strategies, or systems that you've implemented that have enabled your teams to be consistent? And then I'm going to follow up with that. I'm going to also ask you, what are your thoughts with having a father that coached in the same district as yourself?
So I think I take a lot of what he did, being around those guys. I grew up on the bench and was able to watch and be in practices, 4 or 5 years old and on. We try to play fast. We try to spread the floor. We want to make it fun. Like high school basketball, it's going to be the last time a lot of these kids play competitive basketball. And so, I've been in programs where, okay, we're gonna come down, we're gonna pass the ball 7, 8, 9, 10 times before we get a shot and run minute and a half, 2 minutes off the clock. It's not really fun. And we not say that we're prioritizing, the fun entertainment aspect over it, because we do put in the work, but we want to get it and go. And we want to develop these guys into basketball players where you're making the right read, find the open man. Everybody has the confidence in themselves and the confidence in each other to where I'm going to sacrifice my good look to get you a great look. And so we're going to do what it takes to get those great looks. And whoever's open, we trust you're going to knock down that shot. We trust you're going to knock down, the right read. And so we want to kind of spread the floor, got a little dribble drive motion in there, some design action, some flex cuts, bringing back, the old Holmes Husky heydays, but kind of put guys in position to make the right play and make the right read. And you can do that, then we're going to give ourselves a chance, and then on the other end, we're just going to try to be the toughest kids on the floor. Every night we talk about you're going to be the toughest dang kid out on that floor. You do handle your responsibility. You trust the 4 guys behind you to do theirs. We're going to give ourselves a chance, and that's all we want is to have a chance at the end of the day.
Yep.
Going back to your second part, I love high school basketball. Growing up 4 or 5 years old on the bench, I think Northside basketball has been, one of the top districts, again, not just in the city, but in the area and the state for a long, long time. Like you go back, Holmes had their run, John Jay had their run, Taft had their run, Marshall had, a run. Like you go down the line, and then later you had Warren, but the amount of players that have come through, the district and some of the, top coaches in the area have made their roots here in Northside. And I think to me, it's an honor. It's an honor to, kind of carry on that fraternity and keep, the Northside basketball going. I take great pride in that. I respect all those guys that have come before me, those guys that are still here. And I think Northside is a place to be. I think, not just for the schools and the community, but for, the athletic programs and the teams that we put out there. And I think it's an honor to be able to follow, I walk into gyms and people say, Coach Jaklich, are you related to, Coach Jaklich? And, Jaklich isn't, last name like a Johnson or a Smith or, it's common. And so, I take great pride in that. And I think it's, something we strive to withhold and, stand up to every day.
Awesome.
Coach, you spoke on something that just was music to my ears. You spoke on turning down that good shot and that great shot to get that phenomenal shot, right? That high IQ, high level efficient basketball. So I definitely kudos for that. Following up with what you talked about, the development aspect, right? How do you currently approach player development, and what are some of the techniques or drills that you use to help your players advance their skills and just become a better overall basketball player?
I think one of the biggest things we try to do every day is build on the foundation, of the fundamentals and putting ourselves in position to be able to make the right reads. So we do a lot of, 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3 buildups, and then putting ourselves in specific situations. Okay, we're working on ball screens today. So we're going to start with the high ball screen and break it down. Okay, you turn this corner, this is what we're looking for. Okay, our goal is to get in the paint and make the right play. So we've got to make sure everybody else knows where they're supposed to be. And we break down running the lanes into certain spots, getting yourself in the right position, the screener set in the right position, having his backside, telling the ball handler where he wants to go. We film every practice. And so then we break it down and we're able to show the guys, okay, freeze right here. Okay, what are you seeing? What is the defense doing? We talk all the time, whatever the defense thinks they're doing, they're going to be wrong. We're coming off this screen. They want to cut underneath. Okay, you're going to flare out. They want to trail you. Perfect. You're going to curl it. So we're trying to instill our guys that we're going to control the court by having ourselves locked in and our fundamentals down as tight as we can be. We talk about embracing the boring. You watch some of these videos on Twitter and, Instagram, and you got guys doing 18 different moves and, stationary, going against nothing. And, how many times does that translate to a basketball game? And so we want to embrace the boring of, we're going to be very crisp on our passes. We're going to be very strong in our ball handling. We're going to do these things every day so that then when it's time to get into the games and I may get bumped, shoot, I've gone against coach bumping me every day. I can still make that strong pass. And so we get real down to just the nitty gritty fundamental, like we're going to be hard working, get in the gym and embrace the boring.
I love that answer. And you mentioned, the recording of practice, right? That's next level, coach. So kudos for that. Thank you.
Coach, everybody's getting stronger and faster nowadays. Everybody's incorporating the strength and conditioning. And I know you guys are doing the same thing. So my question is, as far as how are you doing that for your program? And then how are you making your players reach their full potential?
Yeah, so we're really lucky in that, the UIL allowed us an extra hour a day outside of our athletic period to do our strength and conditioning. So we're not trying to cram in, our strength and conditioning workouts in that 45 minutes that we're allotted, plus our workouts and stuff. So we get our weight workouts in the mornings. We have a great relationship with our football coaching staff and our football players to where we work around, their workouts because they're going first period and before. And so our coach lets us get in, our kids get their lifts in and they've embraced it, and we've incorporated some different types of, strength and conditioning workouts where it's not just simply, okay, we're going to bench, we're going to squat, we're going to do this and then get out. Like we're doing a lot of flexibility, a lot of band work. I get my wife to come teach us some yoga and some flexibility things to help the kids keep the kids. And she's, adjusted some of the workouts we do to where we're not just focusing on, upper body while we lift. We're also incorporating some leg workout stuff at the same time to kind of double up, the work we're getting. And so it kind of helping develop a well-rounded, body where, the kids are strong. They may not look the strongest, like you harken back to like Kevin Durant, he coming in, everybody was, he couldn't lift whatever at the combine. Well, that dude's basketball strong. That dude does not get pushed around. And so, we may not have guys, 6'3", 215, but telling you the little 5'11", 160 guards, they're not getting pushed around because they've embraced the weight room. They've embraced these workouts and there's a little bit of competition amongst themselves. We have a championship weight belt that at the end of the season, whoever, it wins in so many categories gets to hold that. And so they're like dying right now because Josiah has it. They're dying to get it from him. So they're waiting for the end of our fall workouts before the season starts so we can test again so they can find a new winner because, Liam wants to get that. Jason wants to get that. They want that belt. Like there's that competition amongst each other. So, those guys get in the weight room. They're saying, come on, let's go. They're pulling each other. And I think that shows a lot about these kids that they're taking ownership amongst that.
That's great. I mean, the weight room is so important. A lot of kids don't embrace that, but it takes a coach. It takes a coach sometimes to let them know how important that is. I'm gonna switch gears to culture. Like I said, I played for your dad at Holmes, and I'm gonna always be partial to that culture that we had back then because we were undersized and we had to scrap and fight for everything that we got, kind of similar to like what you're describing. But your dad was able to really instill a culture in the team. And we knew what our identity was always. Can you describe your approach to team culture and building camaraderie amongst your players? And how do you foster an environment that brings out the best in your team?
It makes it really easy with the kids we have at Marshall. Like we have phenomenal kids. Like we have great kids and those kids come from wonderful families. So there's that support system built in already. These kids love being around each other. They hang out all the time. And feel like we've developed an environment where they can come in and compete, and they know they step across those lines. We're not friends. Like, we're battling against each other. You may be on the maroon team today. I'm on the white team today. We're going at it. Buzzer ends, practice ends, shake hands. We're all good. All right, let's go get some extra shots up today. Let's go get in the weight room together. They love each other, and they love each other's successes, and they push each other to get better. And, we do a lot of things together as team. Like in Christmas break, we come over to my house, my wife cooks lunch, we hang out, play football, the kids lose in cornhole to me and Coach Martinez, stuff like that. And we make it a place where they want to be, coming to practice, there's music playing, while we're going through stretching and some of the shooting drills and stuff. And, the kids take turns, like, who's got the playlist today? No. Oh man, I got it today. I got it, And so they know it's a place where it really is a family, and they can be themselves, and they can be their goofy selves because they're 14, 15, 16-year-old kids. And it makes it that much easier to go to battle with your brothers when you truly love each other and you're truly supportive of what they're trying to do. And for us, it starts with the parents. I'll be the first to say I think we have the best family, the best community, that supports us in the area. And they've just created, wonderful human beings. And we're just here to help support them because, a lot of times basketball players, they're with us more times than their family. And so we're just filling their role for those couple hours and trying to make it a place where they can feel safe and be themselves and then just get out and work.
Thank you.
Coach, going off the grid of basketball real quick, right? Marshall is a school of excellence, right? What are some of the strategies that you use to identify players of excellence in the eighth grade, in your eighth grade feeder school? Like, what are you doing to make sure that they know what it's all about?
Yeah, so we have summer camps that we work, and we get those kids up there, and so being able to see them first grade, second grade on, we kind of have some built-in relationships with those kids, get to see them early, get to have fun with them at camp, and start building those relationships. So then they get to middle school, we go not just to their games and watch them watch all their games from the sideline and fist bump them afterwards to tell them good things they did, some things we think they can, improve on. But we drop into practices, at the middle schools, go see them in the spring, go to their different events. And I think it helps them see that, we care about them. And then not just, the coaching staff and myself will go to the games, but then we have some of the other players go back and we'll watch them. And so they grow up seeing, these other Marshall kids go, and man, I want to be like that kid. I want to be like Liam when I get in high school, to give them something to strive for and something, to look up to. And then our guys are talking to them and giving them pointers, telling them, what they liked and everything. And that gives us a chance to see the kids, not just how they act on the floor, but how they act, off the floor too. Is that a type of kid that we want coming into our program? Is that a kid that is going to come in and fit in with what we're doing? Or do we need to start having conversations early about, hey, this is what's expected of you. You got to make sure you fit in with us.
Perfect. Thank you.
Coach, you're doing a wonderful job out there also. And with doing that, we know there's times throughout the year and in your past years, there's challenges and obstacles. What are some of your biggest challenges and obstacles? And then how have you overcome those obstacles and challenges?
Challenges and obstacles can be seen as a bunch of different ways. Marshall, we don't get the biggest, the strongest, the fastest kids, but that's something we embrace. We look at it as challenge and obstacle as something we can either hide from or we can, head towards. And so goes back to, strength and conditioning, stuff like that we're going to try to bridge those gaps that, again, we're not blessed with, 6'6", 6'6", 6'5" across our front line, we're just going to be tough. And I hate filling out the rosters at the beginning of the year because they'd always ask for height. And a lot of times there's like maybe one or two kids that's like a 6 foot something, but these kids don't accept that. They buy into it, that what we're trying to do, that we're going to work really hard. And there's been times where we've gone against teams, whether ranked in the city or ranked in the state, and for whatever reason we had to do, go in a 2-3 zone with a 6'1" kid in the middle and coming out successful, or our guys just buckling down and saying, we're not going to look at this as a disadvantage. We're going to look at this as we got the advantage in the heart category. And so I think it says a lot about these kids and their character that every piece of adversity we hit it head on. And, we say, okay, there's an opportunity for us to show what we're truly made of. And so we don't hide from anything, and just use that kind of that adversity as a motivator, saying, hey, we know what's coming up on the schedule. We know what we got coming up against us. We got to work that much harder.
Okay. Well, to piggyback on that, can you share an example of a game or a season where your team faced some adversity and how you were able to lead them through that challenge and ultimately achieve the success that you were looking for?
A couple of years ago, we were not very big across the board. We did have one kid, Nate Doom, 6'7", 6'6". So, other than that, next tallest kid was probably about 6'1". But those kids just came in every day, and they came in every day and just worked. And early in the season, we went down to La Jolla for a tournament, and we go in there, and it's Friday, right before Thanksgiving break, and they give us like right after lunchtime game against the host school, La Jolla. So it is packed. The gym is packed. You got these kids watching free high school basketball and knowing Thanksgiving breaks coming on, like they're off for school. And it's crazy. Like you would think this was a playoff game. Like it is just jam packed. And all our guys are kind of looking around each other like, man, like there's 600 people against us. First play of the game, we come out, throw a backdoor lob, boom. Like, all right, those kids, like by the end of the game, we come out victorious, and we turn the crowd towards ourselves. Like they're like, man, these guys play fun up and down the floor. Like we had started cheering for us. Later on in district play, when every game is tough, I remember we're playing Harlan, and like every game up to that point, I think had been single digits against them, the previous 4 or 5 games. And we just could not quite get over the hump. And this game is crazy. It's at Paul Taylor. We're going to double overtime. We're sitting there on the bench, and you can hear the fans behind us just giving it to it. Like it is back and forth. Like it is premier high school basketball game. Coaches meet. We go back to the bench. 2 of our guards, Matt Gonzalez, Luke Gonzalez, I don't even have to say anything. They stand up, guys, we've been here before. We face this. Let's go. We got this. And they come out there, and we, come out victorious in the second half, second overtime. And I think that speaks to those kids that going back to the adversity, like they had been as big of an underdog as you could be earlier in the season in that scenario. And they built on that, and they took that with them and carried it over that, hey, we band together, this adversity is nothing that we can't overcome.
It just gave me goosebumps because I believe that athletics in general, basketball especially, I believe athletics teaches our young men and young women to deal with adversity because life is full of adversity. So those kids in that moment, they learn how to deal with adversity for the rest of their lives, really.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, like there's been so many times, whether it's, under 2 minutes to go in a game, overtime, it's tight, and you can feel the pressure, and you can feel the intensity. And we go to the bench and we look at, look at the guys and say, guys, one, where else would you rather be right here, right now? Like we get to play basketball. It's a great game. Like, let's just go have fun and embrace it, because shoot, you're not having to worry about paying bills right now. You're not having to put food on your table. You're not having to do anything else. You just get to go hoop. Let's just go hoop. You can worry about anything else later. And so we, like you said, we use, sports as kind of a mirror for real life. And we talk all the time, like, if you can get through this, if this is the hardest thing in your day right now, is getting through this practice or getting through this drill or getting through this game, and you did it, tomorrow you can get through that math test. Next week you can get through that English, you can get that English paper written. So then you get to college, man, I've already done it. I've been here. I've done this. I can get through this class. I can get through this program, and then become an adult, like, okay, I can get through this job, this day at work. It might be a tough day, but I've had tough days at practice and I got through it. And so it just builds that character that's going to last you a lot longer than any win or loss will.
Awesome.
Hey, so Coach, from what I'm hearing from these last couple of questions and answers, it sounds like you embrace the mentality of, hey, they got to put their socks on before they shoes, just like we do, huh, Coach?
Yes, sir.
Had to do it. Had to do it. Real quick, Coach, that's a running joke we have on the show. I can't stand these little cliche things that Mike throws out here, and that's one of them. Putting the socks and shoes on first. Still, oh my god, he's being funny right now. He's being funny, Coach. It's a little
I'm being
inside joke.
serious.
I've heard him say that once or twice before, and I love it. I love it.
Please stop. Don't give him any fuel for his fire, because all he gonna do is rub his. It's gonna be a day we gonna be talking. That's what he's gonna say. Well, hey, look, there's a few coaches out here that love me saying this, so I'm gonna keep saying it. So
I'm gonna take a picture of my socks and shoes tomorrow morning.
Stop, Coach. Stop. Don't do it, please. Don't give this man any more fuel for his fire. To do what he does, please. You guys are enabling him to do what he do. I'm telling y'all, because listen.
Because when you're an underdog, that makes sense.
Yeah, he had one also about when I first met him. He used to always tell me how a hit dog a holler. Again, of course, hit anybody. You hit anybody, they're gonna holler. But again, that's one of his look. And I just like, oh, okay. We started.
You like that one though? Don't get on the air in front. You like that one.
I do. Again, I do like that one. But then when he started coming with the shoes and the socks piece, and it's just
you can't clip his wings. You gotta let the man fly. You gotta let him be him.
Okay, all right, Coach. All right, because it's you. I'm letting him keep blossoming and keep saying these cliche sayings. Okay, I'm letting him. But I did like the hit dog a holler piece. But again, he saw that I liked it. And he go on now. Now he just bringing them up all the time. Now he got a bunch of
underdog. That's an underdog statement right there. You're an underdog.
Okay.
You gotta remind your guys they put their socks on before they shoes, just like you do. When you're going into a fight that you look down the line and they got 6'5" across their starting line, and you got 5'5" through 5'10". You got to give them something.
That's true.
All right, next time, just do a Rocky one. Like if you hit him, he'll bleed. Come on, he bleeds just like us. Let's go.
Nah, if you gonna bring up Rocky, you got to say it in his voice. He's not a machine. He bleeds too. He's not a machine.
I believe you had the next question, Mike.
I do. What is your process without giving away all your secrets, right? What is your process for scouting and preparing your team for upcoming opponents? How do you ensure that your players are equipped to execute the game plan?
You just unfroze right now. I just heard the last part. You said game plan.
Sorry. What is your process for scouting and preparing your team for upcoming opponents? How do you ensure your players are equipped and ready to execute that game plan?
As tough as these districts are, like we have got to be locked in and we've got to be game plan. Like we got to scout, we got to watch film, we got to make sure we know what's going on, because again, not just are these teams, greatly skilled, but they got great coaches leading them. And so, Coach Martinez and myself, we're out scouting every night. We're watching film every day, all throughout the day. And so we break down the film and show our guys like, okay, these are the main sets they're going to run. These are some of the main hitters they're going to do. This is what we got to be prepared for. So we'll show the clips, go out to the floor, set it up with some, dummy offense, and then show them, okay, this is what we're going to do against this. Go watch some more clips, come back. Depending on what type of scheme they're running, we'll break down like, okay, they run this flex cut a whole bunch. This is how we're going to defend it. So we just practice and we just scheme, 10, 15 minutes a day, just defending that flex cut. Like, this is what we're doing on this. They run some dribble handoff stuff and we're going to switch. We'll practice just those actions over and over and over again. That way in different ways, whether it's doing, two lines at the top and we just go straight to the dribble handoff and okay, now we switch, boom, all right, next man up. Or we'll put it in some quick live action and rep it, kind of build up from the very basic, watching the film, seeing it live, to then breaking down each individual action to be able to get ready so that then when they do see it in a live game, Friday night, Tuesday night, they're ready to go because they've seen whatever it is they're seeing, they've gone against it 100 times already. And so it should be nothing different except it's a different colored jersey, you're going against now.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Okay, Coach, we're gonna wrap this up. We got two more things, but I got the last question here. With you guys being not just coaches, you're educators because you are teachers also, and then most of you guys have families. How do you take all that and balance it and make sure every day, just like we asked you about your players, getting them ready, how do you get yourself mentally prepared to make sure you have a good balance in life?
First and foremost, I love what I do. And it's never been a job. It's never once have I ever felt like this is a job. So I wake up every morning ready to put my socks and shoes on, ready to go, fired up. And I think that says a lot. It makes your job a lot easier, your life a lot easier when you love what you do. I'm blessed with an incredible family, super supportive. They come to every game. My dad, my mom, they come to every game. My dad's friends, old coaching buddies, still come to games. My wife and kids come to the games. My daughter, she's in first grade this year. She's going to be our water girl. She's all excited, ready to go. And so just having that support system for me around makes life a lot easier. On game days, my mom will bring me lunch. Like, she lives in the neighborhood. She lives 5 minutes from Marshall. She'll surprise me with lunch. My wife will, get my daughter and we'll meet for game day lunch, or the next day, something like that. So we can find time for each other. Because it is a long grind, at school by 7:30, sometimes not even home by like 10:30 or 11. And so having them support me and having them find ways in their schedule and in my schedule to still, see each other really speaks volumes to the support system I have. And then I want them around, one, for me, like that's my support system, that's my rock. But then also I want our guys to see when we talk about family, for our basketball team, it encompasses like everything. Like I'm not just teaching these guys how to play basketball. Like I'm trying to mentor them and show them what I think is a successful and happy family. Like I feel like I'm a good dad. I feel like I'm a great dad. And so I want to model that for them so they can see me interact with my daughter. They can see me interact with my wife, and they see that at home with their families, and if for some reason, not everybody comes from that family. And so if they don't have that role model, they don't have that, example to look up to, we can provide that also. And so I want my family around as much as possible, selfishly for me, but then also, to show these other guys like, hey, this is a good environment. This is a good way to live your life. Like, you find a job you love, find a woman you love, find a family you love. Like, your life is great. We lose a couple games in a row and I go home and my daughter's wants to color, or she wants to paint my nails, or she wants to, spend time with me still. What more you can ask for? You talk about the adversity, like we've hit adversity. We've had 3-game losing streaks, 4-game losing streaks. Still go home. My wife's still smiling. Daughters are still laughing. It puts things in perspective. And so it makes getting up the next day, getting those socks and shoes on, ready to go, still ready to do it, because you love what you do and you've got the support system around you. Love these kids, love the school, love this community. So, finding that balance is pretty easy sometimes.
And fellas, I think I can vouch for him. He walks the walk. He just doesn't talk it. On Halloween, we live in the same neighborhood. And on Halloween, he's out there with his kids. And October 31st you're right in the thick of it at that point, ready for the season to start. And he's out with his kids trick-or-treating and doing the dad thing. So I applaud you for that balance. I mean, it's awesome to see. It's awesome to see because that's a very busy time for you. And you're still out with the kids trick-or-treating and stuff. So, yes.
Man,
Yeah, and I'm lucky
love
that. Go ahead.
I love the fact that you're wanting to model life outside of basketball. You know, that speaks volumes beyond measure. You know, and so I definitely salute that it's bigger than basketball for you and the role that you're in and the part that you play, you know, in these youngsters' lives. So I salute.
You know, again, going back, like I was super lucky growing up, you know, around my dad's programs. And I still run into so many people that played for him or around him and around their teams and hear all the time, all these stories that people talk about and all the, you know, great memories they have. Very rarely does it go back to like specific games, you know, like, oh, we beat Jay this game or we won this game or, oh, we lost to Marshall or something. It was like, oh, we had great fun in practice, man. I loved the environment we had. It was such a fun culture. Like I love those guys, you know, everybody was so welcoming in, you know, in 20, 30 years from now, probably not going to remember many of these wins or losses, but you're going to remember the journey you went on. You're going to remember how you felt in that program, and you're going to remember what that program meant to you and hopefully what you meant to that program. So, you know, we take great pride in building that foundation, that culture, that family that, you know, yes, we want to win above all else. Like we want to win. That is our expectation. That is our goal. That is what we're fighting for every single day. But if all we do is bring you in and try to get you to win us games and then that's it, you know, I failed as a coach. And I think one of my most precious memories this past Father's Day, you know, over the summer, my phone goes off all throughout the day and it's texts from different players, not just this year, but like going back 5, 6, 10, 12 years ago. Hey coach, man, hope you're doing good. Happy Father's Day. Hey coach, give your family the best. Hey coach, you know, hope y'all are doing well. And, you know, you come to our games, you'll see a bunch of ex-players in the stands. And I think that speaks to kind of the culture we've built and the way these guys have, you know, built that up and maintained it, that people want to be around it. And, you know, it makes it, you know, it brings a smile to your face.
Well, I can tell it does, and again, just seeing and hearing the stories again, like Richard said, having your dad come to your games, and like Mike said, also, it's bigger than basketball. You're definitely that true role model that for me, I want to be around, and I kind of make sure the guys and teachers and coaches I do know, and you're definitely leading the pack with the way you present yourself and the way again, and I remember when Kermit first started doing the Underdog show, my brother, Kermit Solomon, started doing the Underdog. You were one of the first coaches that he gravitated to. And again, he never heard of Marshall or knew anything about Marshall, but he said when the day he met you and he interviewed you, he said you automatically had to be part of his show. And it's just the way you coach, the way you father, the way you present yourself in every aspect of what a coach in a basketball program should look like. He said it was you. So that's why I make sure I keep you a staple and I make sure I come around you as much as I can. Again, I love that fact one of my guys played for you. And again, I hear nothing but great things about you. And I came to one of your practices and I see how contagious it is. You guys, you are one of the few coaches that allow your kids to be just that, young people. You know, I think it's sometimes too much. We put a lot of onuses on winning to where as though you allow yourself and allow your guys, yes, you want to win, like you said, but you still make sure you take care of them and do the other things of where it comes into saying it's bigger than basketball. And you do a great job. So I just want to make sure I give you your flowers on that, coach.
I appreciate that.
Now we're going to finish up something new Richard wanted to try to do with the coaches. So I got a few rapid fire questions for you. So you're the first one we're doing this with, all right? You're the very first one. So you leading the way, all right? So I'm just going to say a few things, and you just tell me which one you want to have. So today's game against the Texans and the Colts. Who you got?
Texans.
Cowboys and the Browns.
Man, I can say, grew up a Packer fan. We root against two teams. We root for two teams, the Packers and whoever's playing the Cowboys. So I'm going for the Browns today. Got the Browns.
There you go. Hey, he said it, Richard, not me.
Hey, that's okay. That's why they're America's team, not because of the fans, because of the haters. That's all I got to say on that.
All right, pizza or calzone?
Oh, pizza.
Hamburgers or hot dogs?
Hamburgers.
McDonald's or Burger King?
My daughter would kill me if I said anything other than McDonald's.
All right, we talking hot. We talking wings, hot or barbecue?
Ooh, hot.
Hey, Coach. Again, man, I appreciate this time. Mike and Richard, do y'all have anything for Coach? Because if not, I want to say thank you again.
I was going to say, your dad always texts some of his old players, in little group texts and stuff. But tell him to send me an individual one. I know he's a watchdog at Kuntz Elementary School.
Yeah.
I've been told, a little birdie told me he's a watchdog. So tell him to text Richard DeLeon when he is at Kuntz, and I'll bring him a cup of coffee.
Yes,
I really would rather. I would really like to see him away from Northside Gym.
Oh, he would love that. He would love that.
Mike, you have anything for Coach?
For me, Coach, absolutely. You got one of my guys, Chef Curry. So, I'm going to be in the stands, saluting and rooting for you guys. I just love your whole thought process and mindset with the embracement of your season and maximizing what it is that you have. And so good luck to you this season. I'll see you in the stands. And thank you for taking time out of your day, taking time away from your family to be here with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else from you, Coach? You'd like to leave with?
No, that was good. That was great. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate everything you do. Being a positive influence, positive representation for high school basketball in San Antonio. And that's, my favorite thing in the entire world is high school basketball. And to see it put in a positive light, like it really does make me happy. It really does make me smile. So thank you guys for what you do.
Like I told you, I'll be out there. I should be I'm almost 80% sure I'm at that Matador classic they have. So I'm gonna see you out there. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I'm gonna sign off. Thank you again.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good one.
Playboy.